Oi, so you failed, huh?
What is going on, everybody? I forgot to unmute my microphone, but here we are. We are here. This is the day. If you can hear me, give me a wah! All right. Hold on, I'm gonna check this. Just want to check the stream audio really quick. Just make sure. There we go. Awesome. What is going on, boys? Welcome to the stream. Grab your squigs and settle in. All right, guys. So we've got a big night planned for everybody. We've got a big night planned for the boys, right? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So, of course, the main event is going to be the reading. Hold on, let me turn the music down a little bit. Turn this down just a tad. There we go. So, of course, our main event is going to be the reading of the Scrap Before Orkmas, which I haven't even opened up on my player or anything yet. Hold on a second. Oh, that would be terrible if I didn't pull that up. Oversight. This is live. We're going live. Okay, I got to pull it up for you guys. Very good. Okay. Cool. All right. So, but before we get to the Scrap Before Christmas, I thought it'd be a cool idea for us to hang out for just a little bit. Because I know that some people at 10 o'clock, they aren't here yet, so they're probably coming in right now. So we're going to give them a little time to settle in. Not too long, though, because we want to get to the meat, right? We want to get to the story. But I just want to take a little bit of time and introduce myself. For those of you who don't know, my name is Matthew Glover. I'm a voice actor out of Florida, and I'm the voice behind Big Mac Krunkface. You all love him. You all know him. I got some surprises in store for you tonight, and some hopeful announcements. Out there. I'm a nerd through and through. When I was growing up, my mom inundated us with like 80s fantasy movies, and that love of fantasy just carried over into my love of Jim Henson, into my love of just anything that's fantasy related, magic related, and things like that. And so, yeah, that nerdiness just kind of grew and grew and grew. And I've always been told since I was a little kid, hey, you can do funny voices and stuff. And my mom would always, ask me to do impressions. And as a kid, it was just that was the thing. It's like, hey, Matt, do an impression. Hey, Matt, do that voice that you do. And so, I kind of, and whenever somebody asks me, what gave you the inspiration to be a voice actor, the thing I always remember is that scene from Mrs. Doubtfire, one of my favorite movies growing up as a kid. And in Mrs. Doubtfire, Robin Williams he's in front, like there's this cartoon playing, and he's doing all the voices, and they show him, he's not even in his booth, he's like in some glorified, set or whatever, but he's, doing all these voices and stuff. And that just always resonated with me. And I was like, that's what I as a kid, I was like, I would love to do that when I grow up, and then you grow up and, you don't pursue those things. But now that I'm 40, today is my 40th birthday. So now I'm 40. I'm like, man, I really want to pursue the things that I've always wanted to pursue. And so voice acting is one of those dreams that I have. And creating content, as a full-time gig is just one of the things that I want to do. And so tonight's stream is all about us having fun and growing the WA together, right? That's what this is all about. And so everybody gave a WA in the chat. I love you guys. Tell me where you're from. Tell me where you're streaming from, where you heard. Of course, most of you probably heard about this from TikTok or Instagram. If whatever platform you heard about this on, shout it out there in the comment section. Tell us where you're from, and go ahead and just give us another WA shout. There's gonna be a lot of that tonight. A lot of WA. All right. So we've got sourdough like the bread. We've got immortal no one. Empty Mind 935. Wow. Ethan Herring, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. What's going on, guys? There's 9 of us in here. I think I'm included because I'm watching my stream, making sure that it's staying up. This is oh man, I have been waiting for this day ever since I announced it. And I knew this would be like one of the best birthday presents I could ever give myself, was just to stream and to hang out and do this awesome thing. I am wearing a Big Met Krunkface t-shirt. If you want a Big Met Krunkface t-shirt, I have a Redbubble. If you go on any of my socials and you go on my link tree, there should be like a store link or whatever. You can even go to my website, and it's there, and you could go and you could purchase the Big Met Krunkface t-shirt from Redbubble. I don't get a whole lot out of it, but you know what? It extends the brand, and that's really what we're all about here. Is just growing the WA, making it bigger. All right, so Pennsylvania, Ethan Herring from Pennsylvania, that is freaking awesome. Empty Mind from Italy, holy crap. Let's see. Tara Kenyon said sourdough brought me in. Where are you from, Sarah? Where are you from? Or not Sarah, Tara. This is live. Guys, sourdough bread from New York. Heard about you from TikTok. Love your WA formations. Wow. Let's see. Plaga says that sourdough brought him in. Sourdough doing the heavy lifting, growing the WA. That's what we love to hear. All right. So I kind of introduced myself a little bit about what I like, kind of what my goals and aspirations are. Let me talk a little bit about how I even got into the whole Warhammer scene, which is a funny story. So this all started like last year. I was, trying to figure out like what I could do with my TikTok page and stuff. And I had started to see like these voiceover challenges come through. And so I was like, that would be fun. I could do some voiceover challenges. And so I started doing those and really getting into the voiceover scene. And I got my page up to like 300 followers. And for some reason, TikTok gave me live access at 300 followers. And so I went live, and I was like, I don't know what I could go live about. I'll just, I'll talk about screenwriting, because I went to school for film making and stuff. I've been doing video production for over 15 years. And so, I was like, I know how to write movies. I know how to write scripts. And so let me just go through that whole process. And so I started talking about that. And this was last December, when Nosferatu came out, and everybody was doing the Nosferatu impression where he says, it is a black omen to journey in poor health. And everybody was, doing that. So I was like, I can do the throat singing stuff that Skarsgård did. So let me just throw mine out there. And I recorded it. I threw it out there. And when I was on live, somebody asked, hey, was that your voice doing the Nosferatu? And I was like, yeah. And I did it right there. And then one thing I do is I'm also a dungeon master. And so I was talking about how whenever I do dungeon master stuff, I do the throat singing stuff, and I start from that base, and I do that's what I do for my orc voices. And so it's like, oh, what do we got here? A bunch of adventurers, and that was my D&D orc voice. And I had somebody comment that was like, you should do Warhammer orc voices. And so I was like, you know what? Let me write up a script real quick, and I did. And then I read it on live, and then I took that live video and cut it, and posted it. And then I went from 300 followers to like 5,000 in a weekend. And then it just kept growing. So that's how I got into Warhammer, and just writing those scripts, putting out those videos. And then I thought it would be funny. I was like, what would be funny is like if you had an orc that was just like the motivational speaker for all orcs, and he just pumped up the orcs for the wah, And so I started releasing WA formations, and that blew up. And went across TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. And so that's a little bit about how I got into the why, and how I got into Warhammer stuff. All right, so let's read some more comments here. Sourdough brought me in. I love the Waz. Awesome, Plaga. Laissez-faire giving us a wah from Idaho. North Carolina, sweet. Tar is fine. Tara is fine. Okay, I got you. Got a wah from Utah. Yeah, we're kind of hanging out right now. We're waiting for some people to come in, because I know that some people are probably, just getting, well, not just getting off work. It's 10 o'clock at night where I'm from. But some people are just getting in. I know a lot of our streamer friends, they usually get on around this time, because that's, when they have some time and stuff like that. From the War Boss clan, hey, they better not be streaming on TikTok right now. While they should be here. Because we're getting ready to read the scrap before Christmas. All right. But before we do, still giving everybody a chance to come in. I do want to plug some stuff, because this is the opportunity. I've got a captive audience, hopefully. And so I want to plug some stuff. A lot of you guys mentioned that you love the WA formation stuff. So what I want to do is, if you don't know what WA formations is, hold on, let me stop this music really quick. If you don't know what WA formations is, so WA formations is just like my orky motivational stuff that I put out, and I put it out on TikTok, I put it on Instagram, I put it out on everything. And so I actually started taking the audio and putting it into podcast form. I just stripped the audio, and I'm posting it onto Spotify. So if you are not on Spotify, you need to get over there, because we got WA formations on Spotify now. And we've got 5 episodes right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2 of them are oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Meditations. Oh man, my brain was stuck there for a second. But yeah, so a couple of our meditations. So let me play one for you guys if you've never heard the WA formations.
Oi, so you failed, huh? Good! That means you swung hard! Better than sitting there sniveling in your excuses. You fall? Get up! You break something? Fix it! Or build something new from the rubble. You ain't here to be perfect. You're here to be unstoppable. Every scar's just a receipt for your trying. So stop crying about what didn't work and throw yourself at it again. Faster, louder, meaner. That's how legends are made. You runt. Wow!
All right. Yeah, so that's WA formations right there. And so I had a lot of people tell me, like, you know, they love the videos, but they needed something to play in the background. I've actually had people message me and say, you know, they love playing this at the gym when they're doing their workouts and stuff. They're doing their deadlifts. I actually had a guy comment on one of my things that I helped him increase his PR by a bunch, and he was like, you know, oh, that you know, it was kind of scary how much this helped me increase my deadlift. I get funny comments like that all the time, but I also get great comments about people who, one time I had a guy who, he was suffering from PTSD, and he said the meditation that I recorded, like, actually helped calm his PTSD, which I have no clue how, because there's like gunfire and stuff in there. This is absolutely crazy. We got War Boss Mad Sam in the chat. Say what's up, everybody. Give us a big wow. All right. So that was WA formation. So if you're not already subscribed to the podcast, it's on, I know it's not on YouTube Music because that's what I subscribe to. It's not on YouTube Music, but I believe it's on like your Apple Podcasts. It's on most of your other podcast platforms. It's definitely on Spotify. So definitely subscribe. The plan is to like grow that thing to where grow that thing where I'm getting a bunch of listens, and then I could hopefully monetize that somehow with ads, and really grow that. And then the plan is also to start another podcast that's more long form. Some of you are already familiar with the format that I want to go for. I don't want to say too much about it, but it has to do with a certain radio station, and so I want to make that an actual podcast, and I want to bring in guests from the Warhammer community and interview them as Krunkface, and then put that audio out there as like the radio show and make that the podcast. And so yeah, that's going to be a fun one that I want to start soon, and so that's a project that's coming down the road. Yeah, what else do I got here? Yes, okay, last little plug here that I've got before we read the scrap before Orkmas here. I just started a Patreon page. I literally started it up today. So I've got a Patreon page now. I just put a post on here as well. It's all about growing the WA, making it bigger, because that's what we really want to do. I try to, whenever I talk about my channel and the content that I make, I try to say we a lot, because it is us. It's all of us. If it wasn't for you guys, like, this whole thing wouldn't even be happening, but go check out my Patreon. It's patreon.com/MattNewsCreative, and it'll bring you right to my page. There's only one membership option right now, and it is the boys. You can become one of the boys. It's $5 a month. It's super cheap. And then right now, it's really just to help out with bringing about the more Krunkface content, more Orky content from me, but then you're also going to get, let me come back to me here, back to you, back to me. All right, so the Patreon page is really going to be like the boys, you're gonna have access to exclusive content. So that podcast I was talking about, the long form podcast, when the podcast is released, it's gonna be the clipped audio where it's just just the Krunkface interview, and it might be edited, for content purposes and to be maximally funny and chaotic. But I want to live stream for my Patreon guys, for the boys, like the long form, because I want to do like an actual interview where I actually interview people in the Warhammer community and talk to them about how they got into Warhammer and all that kind of stuff with that. And then I want to do the funny bit with Krunkface, and that's what the podcast is going to be. And so you'll have access to those live streams as one of the boys. You'll also have access to like any behind the scenes stuff that I do, like how I do the things that I do. Yeah, that kind of stuff. But right now it's more support than it is like, hey, what's the benefit of becoming one of the boys for the Patreon. So I'm going to show you that Patreon page one more time. It's patreon.com/MattNewsCreative. And right now there's only one membership option. That's just to become one of the boys. It's $5 a month. And I'll be posting all kinds of posts and stuff. I'll try to do it weekly, weekly posts on here just to keep everything up to date, because that's just more stuff for you guys to experience alongside me, right? All right. I think that's all I got here. Yeah, I think that's it. So the moment you all been waiting for, right? The reading of the scrap before Orkmas, but it's not going to be read by me. It's going to be read by Krunkface himself. So we're going to go over to Krunkface's shop, and I want you guys to give Krunkface a big wah, because he is, I don't know if he's just as excited as I am to read this or not, but he's ready. We've got him on the line here. So Krunkface, give everybody a big wah. Give everybody a big hello, buddy.
Oh, he did it. He messed it all up. Wow! Where's all the boys at? Is you boys ready for the scrap before Orkmas? That was supposed to be a good transition, you humie grot. Oh well, I see all you gits in the chat. All the boys in the chat, give me a wah! Yeah, I see you, Plaguer. I see you, Ethan. Sean McLean, I see you too. Immortal No One, I see you. And of course, the War Boss herself. Right there, Sam. Sam is in the chat. Sourdough like bread is in the chat. I see you all, boys. I see you there. All right, you gits. Is you ready for the scrap before Orkmas? If you is ready, give me a wow! All right, we're gonna read this. We're gonna read it together. All right. Let me start this music all over. It's getting a little too somber for me. Here we go. That sounds about right, don't it? Let's read this thing out loud, you kids. was the scrap before Orkmas, and all through the mob. Every boy was out cropping, except for one knob. The docker was flying all through the air, with the hope that the wah would fill the homies with fear. The beakies was held up in their tall towers, thinking they was safe with all of the power. Gutsmake was snarling at some puny grot that was nicking his gobbins. What a sneaky sot. They down on the field all in one line. The Marine boys revved their choppers at the same time. I hopped on me buggy, hammered the pedal, and charged through the desert in that hunk of metal. But then as the storm boys was flying through the sky, a homie marched forward to the front of the line. With a claw like a boss and a glowing red eye, Gaskell grinned for the very first time. He rallied the boys with a shout and a roar. Gawking Morks watching, let's give 'em a wah! Crump till the homies can't take any more. We unloaded our docker from all of our shooters. We mowed 'em all down, no scrap left for the looters. A bundle of limbs blew all over the places, our choppers buried in the beakies' faces. Yerrick and Gaskell met claw to claw. Gaskell's roar rattled through his middle jaw. They snarled and scrapped and traded their blows, making the brutal and cunning in all of us grow. We took over their tower and blasted their walls. We stormed their puny city. We flooded them all. We slaughtered the ones that thought they could scrap. After all, that crumpin', ours needed a nap. Gaskell had Yerrick gripped by the throat. He let him down slowly, and then he spoke. You fought good. We need enemies like you. Enemies that can scrap just like we do. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head. Gaskell could fill an army with dread. But he let this enemy free after we crumped so many. A true Orkmas gift, a fighting that's plenty. With Yerrick alive, we could have some real fun, crumping the beakies till we all dead and gone. That's the spirit of Orkmas, you zogging gits. To smash while you can and get in your hits. 'Cause when it's all said and done, what will we have? Not a scrap to scrap, no loot to grab. Gaskell turned to the mob and gave 'em a whistle. They aimed at the city and shot off their last missile. He yelled out as it exploded from sight. Happy Orkmas to all! Now let's go find something else to fight! All right, boys, that was the scrap before Orkmas. How did you like it, eh? Did you boys like that? Give me a wah if you liked it. All right, boys. How are you going to rate it? One out of wah, how would you rate it? That's what I like to hear. All right now, any of you gits got any questions for Krunkface, eh? Any of you grots, eh? Greatest story ever told. That's right, Sean McLean. Oh, you want to know how I got this track foot, eh? Well, it was the scrap of 74. I was out on the battlefield, and this Umi with his chainsaw came and he nicked it off. But that didn't matter. I just took the tires off my truck and put it right on my leg. And this is what happened. Eh? Oh, the scrap before Orkmas, Plague asked, is he going to read this next year? That's how I think you sound there. Is that? I think I'm right. I think I'm right with that one. But yeah, I mean, if you gets is willing to have it done every year, this can be a new Orky tradition, eh? Krunkface's favourite faction to Crump. Oh, I like crumping them ultramarines. They thinking they so good. They thinking they such a good scrapping, but you can just bonk them right on the head. Bonk, bonk, bonk. And they goes down. But I like scrapping with them the fish heads too. Only because I like taking them out. That's really all, that's it. All right, you filthy gits. If yous is coming in late, don't worry. We're going to do a reading one more time. If any of yous gits says, you know what, I want to hear the scrap before all this one more time from Krunkface. Give me a wow! Right. Krunkface is going to be back here in a few minutes. And then we'll do another reading of the scrap before Orkmas. Now where's that Humie git?
What's going on, guys? So how did you enjoy the scrap before Orkmas? So Ethan asked if there's any more loot, any more like t-shirts and stuff like that. If you go to my Redbubble page, you can actually just go to my link tree and any of my social media platforms, Instagram, I was about to say Snapchat, but I definitely don't have a Snapchat. But Instagram, TikTok, anything like that, if you go to the link in the bio, it goes to my link tree, and there should be store links in my link tree there. All right, we've got 18 people in here. 18. That's what I'm talking about. So what did you guys think of the of Krunkface? I think this is the first time a lot of you guys are seeing Krunkface in the flesh, in the green orky flesh. Let's see. Am I gonna upload it again? So I'm gonna keep this live, like it's gonna, stay up on my YouTube page, so you should be able to rewatch it. It's gonna definitely have rewatchability to it, but I am gonna probably cut it down. I'm probably gonna actually like record the Scrap Before Orkmas and post that up to TikTok or something like that. So yeah. Thank you, Plaga. Thank you, Plaga. Thank you, Immortal. Sean, thank you so much. Sourdough, do it. So another segment I want to do with Krunkface is I want to have actual that Krunkface, Krunkface in the flesh, go and rate paintings and stuff. I've talked to a couple of my local some of my local shops, and yeah. No, Dylan, stick around. Dylan, stick around. Krunkface is gonna come back out, and there's gonna be another reading of the Scrap Before Orkmas. I think I might actually just run through all the stuff again. So let me go ahead, and for everybody that's just joining in, I want to say welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. We're gonna run through this whole thing again, and if you stick around, and Krunkface is going to come back out, and he's going to read the Scrap Before Orkmas. Thank you, Warboss Sam. Thank you, Warboss Sam. I was trying to, so I went live on TikTok last night, and that's the live that I invited you to, because I would love for people to like join Krunkface's live, but I can only do. Krunkface can only make appearances through TikTok Studio. I can't. He can't make it through the phone, and so that's the goofy part. If you're coming in late, don't worry about it. We're gonna run through this whole thing again, and Krunkface is gonna come back out, and he is going to, read the Scrap Before Orkmas. You didn't miss a thing. I was planning for this, you guys. But those of you who were here for the first reading, you saw it was. I think it was exciting. I think it really brings about that Orkmas spirit. I think so too, Plaga. I think so too. Yes, Sam. I love watching the WA grow. It needs to grow. Keep on growing. Let's see. Big Wolves fan here for the Orc Motivator. Is this heresy, Dylan? It is actually heresy, but you're good. You're good to go. In the Orc community, there's no such thing as heresy. Only crumping. So for all of you guys that are just joining in, so if you don't know who I am, my name is Matthew Glover. I am a voice actor out of Florida, and my leg is starting to cramp. I've been sitting in the same spot for too long. Hold on, guys. There we go. Live. This is live, everyone. So my name is Matthew Glover. I'm a voice actor out of Florida, and I'm a huge. I'm the voice behind Krunkface. I'm a huge nerd, and I just recently, probably 3 or 4 years ago, got into tabletop gaming with Dungeons and Dragons, and got into trading card games with Magic the Gathering. I got all my Magic stuff behind me, yeah, a nerd through and through, and it came about through just my mom. My mom making us sit down and watch 80s fantasy movies. So Legend, one of my favorite movies, Legend, The Dark Crystal, anything Jim Henson, The Labyrinth. I just made a goblin deck, and I like to play the you remind me of the Babe. What Babe? While I'm playing that deck. But huge nerd through and through. And so I grew this love of just anything magic and fantasy related. And so when I started playing Dungeons and Dragons, it just fell right into place. And then, so it just fell right into place. And, I've been working in video production for about 15 years, and so that's where like all this whole stuff, this whole setup, it just kind of comes naturally. This is what I think about all the time, is when I'm thinking about, hey, let's see, the sigil that's hanging behind Krunkface. Is that what you're talking about, or are you talking about this one on the Krunkface t-shirt? Wait, which one are you talking about, Sam? Where was it going? Yeah. Oh my gosh, my leg was cramping up. Oh, video producer for over 15 years. I've actually been teaching for the past 4 years. But what my big dream is to just do voice acting and content creation full time. That would be like the dream, right? But of course we gotta work through our dreams, and so that's what we're doing. But I started doing voice acting here probably 5 or 6 years ago, with TikTok. I started a TikTok page, Matt News Creative, and started doing voiceover challenges and thinking those were fun, because when as a kid, I was, people told me, you do great impressions and stuff. And one of the big things I loved, that gave me a lot of motivation and a lot of inspiration, was that scene in Mrs. Doubtfire, when you, at the very beginning, when you see the cartoon voice being made, and Robin Williams is standing there behind the microphone, and I was like, I would love to do that when I grow up. And so I've always had that dream in the back of my head, and now that I'm 40, today's my birthday, guys, so thank you for joining me on my birthday. And but now that I'm 40, I'm like, I want to pursue this dream. I want to make this thing like a reality. And so that's kind of what I'm doing now. But how did I get into Warhammer? That's a big question. So on the shirt, I designed this. I looked at Tangent. So I looked at war boss flags and stuff, and I was like, Krunkface should have a flag. He's not a war boss, but he's, he's somebody's boss. Like he's over the grots, at least, and some of the boys. And so he has his own sigil, but it's so Krunkface lore time, Krunkface lore drop. Krunkface is 100% a speed freak. He's all about making the motor faster, and making the cars faster and more shooty, more killy. The faster they go, and the more killy they are, the better. And so growing up, like my family, like all the men in my family were like mechanics and stuff, and so I grew up around cars, grew up working on cars and stuff like that. And my wife, she grew up, her dad actually works on race cars, and my first job was actually at Advanced Auto Parts, and I worked there for like 15 years, and learned so much about cars working through there. And so just grew up around that community. Wife loves NASCAR. I love drag racing. And so it's like that kind of thing. We're actually going to the Gator Nationals in March, which is going to be so fun. But so it's like that kind of thing. And you meet the good old boys, the good old boys in that area. That's what Krunkface is kind of. He's a good old boy. He's all about the why. He's all about the boys and helping the boys and getting their machines bigger and faster. That's what it's all about. And so he's a Red Suns through and through. And so I was like, Krunkface's thing would be like his head, with like pistons and like with, that kind of stuff around him. And so that's what I did. Yeah, that's what that is around him. And then it says Big Bet Krunkface. You can order this t-shirt on, not this exact one, but you can order Big Bet Krunkface t-shirts on my Redbubble, which is also on my Linktree. You go to my Linktree, you can go to my Redbubble. Anyway, so how did I get into Warhammer? That's what I was trying to. So I got into Warhammer. I was doing some voiceover challenges, and a voiceover challenge came across with the Nosferatu. This actually all happened last year. All of this growth that you guys are witnessing is from just a year. But last year, Nosferatu came out, and everybody was doing the Nosferatu voice, the one where he goes, It is a black omen to journey in poor health. And it's like, okay, I could do that. I know I could do that because I've done the Mongolian throat singing before, and so I started doing that. And then I started reading comments. That was the problem. So I did the video with that, and then I got to 300 followers, and I was like, and then for some reason TikTok gave me live access, and so I went live, and I had some people say, hey, did you do that Nosferatu voice? Was that your real voice? And I was like, yeah, and I did it for them live. And then I was like, yes, the same thing I do when I do Dungeons and Dragons. I do orcs. I kind of get that gravel in my voice, and hey, what do we got here? Some adventurers, eh? It's the same thing. And then somebody was like, oh, you should do Warhammer orcs. And so I wrote up a script really quick for Krunkface. And actually, I think I just did like, hey, I put it in ChatGPT. I was like, hey, give me a script for an orky influencer. And then it came up with the name Big Mac Krunkface, and then gave me a script. And that's the very first video of Big Mac Krunkface, was like, oh, it's Big Mac Krunkface, and I'm gonna give you some life advice, that kind of thing. That was the first orc Warhammer video I did, and I recorded it live, and then I just took my live and trimmed that video piece out, posted it, and then just this channel blew up. And so I was like, well, if I'm gonna do orc voices, I'm going to keep doing orc voices, I need to understand the lore of Warhammer. And so I just kept going. I'm going to turn to the comments and read some of your comments, guys, because I'm just talking. Thank you for the happy birthday shout outs, Immortal. Thank you, Sam. He's a Warboss, ready to faster. Empty Mind said that. That is the only mech the Warboss trust. Thank you, Warboss Sam. Thank you, Sean, for the happy birthday. I appreciate that. Kevin Hicks, keep up awesome. Thank you. Tawa or not Tawa? That is the question. Tawa, of course. The boss has many teeth for the get who helps create the signal. Well, I mean, if you want I can do one like this. Because I also did I drew the artwork for the scrap before Orkmas. So like you saw this thing here. Hold on. Need one? Just give me some ideas. Let me know what what Warboss Sam is all about. And I can draw you up one. Okay. So before we get to Krunkface doing the second reading of the Scrap Before Orkmas, I want to do some plugs real quick. The first one is going to be, if you have not already, like if you love podcasting, or if you love Waffirmations but you wish it was like in an audio form, it is in an audio form now. It is on Spotify. Here it is. Excuse me, I had to burp. So Waffirmations is on Spotify. It's available on Spotify. It's also available on Apple Music, and I think it's also available on other podcasting platforms. It's not available on YouTube Music for some god-awful reason, but you can find it still on Spotify and other places. And so there's 5 episodes up. If you've never, ever listened to Waffirmations, let me give you a taste of it real quick. Hold on, let me pause this music so that you guys will be able to hear the Waffirmations. We'll start this one over.
Oi, so you failed, huh? Good! That means you swung hard! Better than sitting there sniveling in your excuses. You fall? Get up! You break something? Fix it! Or build something new from the rubble. You ain't here to be perfect. You're here to be unstoppable. Every scar's just a receipt for your trying. So stop crying about what didn't work and throw yourself at it again. Faster, louder, meaner. That's how legends are made. You runt! Wow! Oi!
All right. So yeah, so if you haven't already subscribed to the podcast, do that. It definitely helps the channel. It just helps the growth. It just really helps the growth of the WA. So if you could do that, I would definitely 100% appreciate that. Let me turn this music down. Back down again. There we go. Okay. That would definitely help out if you would subscribe to the podcast. I've got other podcast ideas that I want to do. I'm actually hoping to release a second podcast, not soon, not anytime like in the next month or so, but hopefully when the new year comes and hopefully I get a little bit more time, I'll be able to release a second podcast, which some of you are already kind of familiar with the format of that podcast because it's going to be a certain radio station. And what I plan on doing is bringing in Warhammer community, Warhammer creators, you know, and people that are associated with Warhammer, bringing them in and interviewing them as Krunkface and posting it onto the podcast. And that's gonna be a longer form podcast, and it's gonna be so fun to do that one. And yeah. And so that's hopefully coming down the pipeline. It's gonna, you know, it's gonna take the community. It's gonna take us building it up to be able to come up with that. And that brings me to my next point, which is if you want to support the community, if you love this content and you want to see more of this content, it needs support. And so I've actually started a Patreon page. You can go to the Patreon page. It's patreon.com/MattNewsCreative. And it's right here. There's I've already posted one article. I literally created this today. But the membership options, there's only one membership option right now, and right now it's a support option. It's $5 a month. You can become one of the boys. But then in the future, with that $5, if you can stay at that level at $5, you can even stop for a little bit and then come back if you want to. I think you could even do one-time gifts. There's this little gift button. You can do one-time gifts. That's cool too, just to help support. But if you do that membership, once we start doing the radio podcasts, what I plan on doing is I'm going to sit down and do a live stream of the actual interview where I interview the guests as a normal person, you know, interviewing them and everything like that. But then I will also interview them as Krunkface, and the Krunkface bit edited down is what you're going to get on the back end of the when I edit all the audio and stuff like that. Like that's what's going to come from that. So please check out the Patreon, become a member, become one of the boys, and help the WA grow. All right, my nose is starting to itch. Okay, so we talked about the podcast, we talked about the Patreon, and now it's time once again for us to call forth Big Met Krunkface and see if he can do another reading of the Scrap Before Orkmas. So let me do one thing before I bring Krunkface back up here. I've got a I might just have to go with it. We're just gonna go with it. No worries. No worries. All right. So actually, before we bring up Krunkface, let me go through the chat here again. You should come to Adepticon. I know me and Sam were talking about like doing like going to some of these cons and like almost doing like a tour or something. I think that would be fun to do. I need to like figure out what all the Warhammer cons are and go to them, because I would love to meet other people that are in the community. Yes, there will be a video of the reading of the Scrap Before Orkmas. It'll probably be just this live stream for a while, and then as I record it and edit it, you know, stuff like that, and make it sound really nice, I'll post an actual video of it as well. All right, so the moment you've all been waiting for. I know a lot of you guys came in pretty late, but here we go. Here is the reading of, let me actually get this music here going for Krunkface, because I know he liked he liked this from the beginning. All right, so now let's bring out I had to do that. Let's bring out Krunkface so that he can read the scrap before Orkmas. Here we go, guys. But before he comes out, he's gonna need you to give him a wah. So all the boys, I need all the boys to fill up the comment section. Give us a wah. Come on, guys, let's fill it. Fill up the chat with wah. All right, here you guys go. The moment you guys been waiting for, Krunkface. They've been waiting for you. We're gonna go live to Krunkface's shop. Krunkface, are you ready to read the scrap before Orkmas?
Oh, you zogging grots! Are you ready to hear the scrap before Orkmas one more time? Give me a wah! That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. The boys supporting the wah. Let the wah grow. We can't crop no humies if we ain't got no wah. All right, boys. It's the moment you've always been waiting for. Was the scrap before Orkmas, and all through the mob. Every boy was out cromping, except for one knob. The docker was flying all through the air, with the hope that the wah would fill the homies with fear. The beakies was held up in their tall towers, thinking they was safe with all of the power. Gutsmack was snarling at some puny grot that was nicking his gubbins. What a sneaky sot. Then out on the field, all in one line, the Marine boys revved their choppers at the same time. I hopped on me buggy, hammered the pedal, and charged through the desert in that hunk of metal. But then, as the storm boys was flying through the sky, Omi marched to the front of the line, with a claw like a boss and a glowing red eye. Gazgul grinned for the very first time. He rallied the boys with a shout and roar. Gawkin Morks watching, let's give 'em a wah! Crump till the Umis can't take any more. We unloaded our docker from all of our shooters. We mowed 'em all down. No scrap left for the looters. A bundle of limbs blew all over the places. Our choppers buried in the beakies' faces. Eric and Gazgul met claw to claw. Gazgul's roar rattled through his metal jaw. They snarled and scrapped and traded their blows, making their brutal and cunning in all of us grow. We took over their tower and blasted their walls. We stormed their puny city. We flooded them all. We slaughtered the ones that thought they could scrap. After all that crumping, ours needed a nap. Gazgul had Yerrick gripped by the throat. He let him down slowly, and then he spoke. You fought good. We need enemies like you. Enemies that can scrap just like we do. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head. Gazgul could fill an army with dread. But he let this Yumi free after we crumped so many. A true Orkmas gift, a fight that's plenty. With Yerrick alive, we could have some real fun, crumping the beakies till we all dead and gone. That's the spirit of Orkmas, you zogging gits. To smash while you can and get in your hits. 'Cause when it's all said and done, what will you have? Not a scrap to scrap, no loot to grab. Gazgul turned to the mob and gave 'em a whistle. They aimed at the city and shot off their last missile. He yelled out as it exploded from sight. Happy Orkmas to all! Now let's go find something else to fight! Ha! How'd you like that, boys? From one to wah! What you think of the scrap before Orkmas? Run. Happy Orkmas, boys! Oh, well, thank you, Immortal. I had a little practice the first time, eh? Ethan Earring says, why? Him and his wife. Thank you, Schonsteiner. We's appreciated. We's gotta grow the warm. Yeah. You gets ready for Orkmas? You ready for the spirit of the Gazgul to come around? All right, you gits. Well, I want to say thank you to all of you for coming round and listening to old Krunkface read out this Orkmas poem. We're just probably going to make this a tradition, an annual tradition. The Umi taught me that one. The Umi taught me that word, annual. Don't know what it means, but we're just going to do this every Orkmas. And I hope to see all you boys there. Oh, what's Krunkface doing for Orkmas? Well, in the spirit of Orkmas, Krunkface is going to go out and crump some beakies. All right, you gits. I is going to sign off. But I appreciate all of yous joining the war tonight. Let's turn it back to the Umi so he can say his final goodbyes. All right. All right, you gits. Bye-bye. I'll see you in the next scrap.
All right, guys. Guys, I really appreciate you coming out and being a part of the stream, being a part of the live. It was so much fun. I was so nervous for this. I had like a whole like, this is how the show's gonna go and all this stuff. I was just wanted to make everything perfect. And you know, I appreciate you guys. To be honest, I'm probably gonna hop on TikTok here in a second and just you know, go hang out with some of the painter guys, and just chill out for the rest of the evening for like 30 minutes to an hour, and hang out with you guys there on those platforms. But I'm gonna record this. Like, I'm gonna sit down and record this, and like this is my booth. This is my studio here. For all of you guys who have, you know, haven't been in here, this is my booth, my studio, and gonna read this, you know, and kind of do just a little bit of post processing. I don't do too much post processing, but we're gonna post process this. I'm probably going to record Krunkface reading it and then post it out doing that, and I might just post it in clips across TikTok, and then have one video on YouTube. I'm even thinking about, so I actually wrote that. I took the Night Before Christmas and just made it Orky. That's what I did. No AI used at all, like just straight from my brain. And gonna like, I think it would be hilarious if I actually like was able to print like a book out or something like that, you know, like draw out the pages and see if I can release it as an actual book. That'd be fun. That'd be cool. Maybe next year. Maybe that'll be like the next year. It'll come out as an actual book. But yeah, the video is definitely going to come out like as an edited video on YouTube, full length edited video on YouTube, and posting clips out onto TikTok and stuff. But yeah, I appreciate you guys. I never know how to end lives because I don't want to. I just love hanging out. I love being around you guys. I appreciate everybody who is here. Again, if you haven't done so already, go check out the Patreon, and if you can become one of the boys and help support the work that I'm doing here and just trying to grow this WA, you know, I would appreciate it if you became a member. It's $5 a month, and it really helps out. You can also just give gifts if you want to. One more time, I kind of want to, but I kind of don't want to. This live will be re-released. This live will be re-released, and you'll be able to watch it again. Watch it on the replay. But I think I'm gonna head over to TikTok right now, guys, and I think War Boss Sam is probably gonna head over to TikTok too. I don't know what her plans are for tonight, but I think I'm gonna head over to TikTok, probably hop on one of those guys' lives, and you know, hang out there. And if I'm provoked enough, I might read the Scrap Before Orkmas, but I won't be able to pitch my voice down, you know, on the live or anything. But love you guys. I'll see you later. Again, subscribe to the podcast, and go check out the Patreon. It's patreon.com/MattNewsCreative. All right, guys. Love you guys. It is sad. It is so sad that it's ending. This was such a fun day, and maybe we'll do more stuff. All right, guys. Love you guys. See you later.